If you're tired of the tire kickers, the price shoppers, and you're looking to get serious buyers, then this video is going to be for you. I'm actually going to be sharing a real live consulting call, a snippet of it that we had earlier this week with our clients and members. And one of our members was asking about ways in which he could go about getting higher quality, more premium paying clients versus the ones that churn out early, are always complaining that the price is too high and can't afford his services. And so I want to share, we're going to hop into that recording now for you. And what I think you're going to discover is really what we've uncovered on this call is why most businesses attract the wrong leads and people that can't afford your services and might not be your ideal client, and a simple fix that can change that. So let's hop into that video and hope you enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I think from my experience, it's kind of like it depends. If the true problem that we're trying to solve is better quality leads, the SaaS, getting a free group to promote, all of that stuff versus a $5 to $9 course, all of those things seem like infinitely more effort and work than simpler things that could be increasing quality of leads, which is messaging. Okay. Dialing in our messaging of the current ads and optimizing our current marketing that's going out to speak to the ideal clients and get better at weeding out the not ideal people, I think is a more lower hanging fruit opportunity. And this kind of goes for everybody with your content, but specifically those that are kind of starting to think about having low ticket offers. And I'm definitely guilty of this. So like my initial programming through the years of doing this has always been, well, low ticket needs to be a beginner product. Low ticket for a lot of people insinuates that our business is based off of this ascension model, not to be confused with having a value ladder. Ascension model is I'm trying to get someone to buy the lower price thing, then upgrade them to the next thing, and then upgrade them to the next thing. And like the buying happens in a sequence from lowest value to highest value, or lowest price to highest price. And the reality is, at least in our data and experience and working with many mentors and coaches, no one has really seen any data that suggests that that's actually how buyers buy. Low ticket buyers buy low ticket stuff. Low ticket buyers also buy high ticket stuff. High ticket buyers will also buy low ticket stuff. I know I've spent a lot of $27 template purchases and then also bought the $30,000 offer from the same person. And do they always happen in that order? There's no rhyme or reason. So I think there is value. And again, part of the AltAgency way is having multiple offers at different price points to attract buyers at different stages of the buyer journey. Now, does that mean that they are like lower quality leads? I could argue that the same thing you could charge $5 to $6 for, which you might consider giving away as a lead magnet, those could still, either way, just because they're paying $6 or $20 or $50 doesn't necessarily mean that they are a qualified ICP, like meaning that they're going to be a buyer of the higher value thing. The question goes back to where I believe this all goes back to is, what is the promise and the messaging stating, and does that appeal to the actual person that I want coming into my world? And I'll give you a really good example, because on our Trailblazer call yesterday, which by the way, you can also attend, Stephen, so you can watch the recording of this. We were talking with, who were we talking with, Lisa, about this? It was right there at the end. Wes. We were talking with Wes because he sort of had a little bit of this mindset hurdle too. Real quick gut check on this is like, I think this is actually extremely relevant for a lot of you from a messaging perspective. So is this kind of concept of like, I want to attract more high quality people? Hit me with a quick me in the chat if this is relevant, just so I can kind of make sure. Sarah, okay, cool. So Wes, we were talking with Wes, and Wes is like, every time I kind of give something away for free, it seems to be all the people that just want leads. And, usually the indicator of I want leads is like, they're kind of like, that attracts like the desperate person who like, they need leads in order to make sales. The reality is 7-figure businesses also need leads, right? Like we all need leads. We all need more prospects. Lead generation is kind of like one of the oxygens of all of our businesses, whether we like it or not. So the challenge is that as a framed problem inside of messaging, or as I'm solving your lead gen issue through this $6 purchase or this lead magnet that's free, we're speaking to the common denominator that is a problem that a lot of people have. So we are going to get a mix of our ideal clients and a lot of the people that are probably just desperate for leads that if they don't get another lead now, they're not going to survive. And so what we were talking about with Wes was like, he notices that a lot of his ideal clients, he gives out in his program like a lot of SOPs, like his business is very systematic. And one of the things he created was how to streamline the client reporting delivery. Okay. Like, hey, most people in agencies are capped. And this is some of the messaging that I was starting to share that we could be putting into his stuff. Not just like, hey, here's my client template that makes client reporting easy. Well, what type of agency owner is going to care about that? You're maxed out at 20 clients. You're spending most of your time sending the weekly report to your clients. And that's really the cap on how many people you can serve. Well, what if I could give you my SOP and process to cut down how much time it takes to send each client report in half? If I angle the messaging to get that SOP like that, you're capped at 20 clients. The only thing holding you back from taking on more is you being able to be more efficient with the clients that you have. Do you think the person that doesn't have clients is going to be interested in that message? Way less likely. And so we have to think about what is the thing that we're actually solving and what is that problem. Many people in our space, and I don't actually know who coined the original term. I originally heard it from, now I'm blanking on her name, but her company's called Hello 7. She calls it the champagne problems. Are you speaking to your ideal prospect's champagne problems? Like, it's like, you're privileged to have this problem, but it's still a problem for you. So if we're speaking to the lowest common denominator, AKA not the champagne problem, you're gonna get all of those people. So my challenge to all of you is you're gonna have the same problem. Like if you just took how you were doing things now and launched a $5, $10, $15, $100 product, or launched this group, if our messaging that brings them into any one of those three options is speaking to the lowest common denominator, you're still gonna have a lead quality problem or a customer quality problem. So I think the first fix is going back and looking at things like the magnetic message framework and looking, revisiting, for you, having look at some of the sales conversations and the data from, your happiest clients, and like really unpack like those kind of unique characteristics that we can possibly lean into to put that into our messaging so that we're speaking to those people, right? Like what are their mindsets? A classic example, OG Frank Kern, he launched a whole program called Your Next Million. Guess who he's not attracting? The people who haven't made $1 million yet. Right? It's like the one word next completely changes who we're speaking to. Right? And so what are those problems? Like, how do we speak to those problems? And again, if it's lead generation, even if it was leads, right? Let's think of how do we attract, say someone, we want to speak to a higher quality person that still needs leads. It's like, think about how, hey, I'm going to get you more leads versus, hey, the only thing holding you and your sales team back is having enough leads to distribute among your sales team of 3 or more people. The guy who doesn't have a sales team, and that's like, now leads is a problem, but it's a problem for someone that has a sales team. It's a problem for someone that has a specific size sales team, right? And so like that little nuance can totally change the type of person that you're bringing in. And again, the same holds true for, I'll give you an example from our business real fast. Let me know if this is resonating with anyone here, and if you're kind of like having any sort of light bulbs. But like last year we started doing a lot of these like $100 workshops. One of our workshops was the offer blueprint. And we basically broke down the concept of clients, members, customers. Of the 3 times last year that we did that workshop where we capped it at 30 people, I think one was 32, one was 27, one was 20 or whatever. For every single one of them, we had people join this program. It was like very model driven. It was higher level. It was like a framework. It's like, hey, the problem is your offer suite. Do you want to work on your offer suite? Oh my God, yes. Well, here's how we do that. Now you have some clarity from this workshop. The client winning content workshop, which basically gave a lot of templates away. We didn't upgrade anybody because they had all the tactical stuff to do right then and there. So yes, I attracted people that liked our stuff. It sold way easier, but it didn't result in people upgrading into the collective to get more help because there was a lot of to-dos coming out of them buying that. And they're like, well, I'm going to do all of this first before I come to get help. They were just looking for templates and like the tactical. So like the more tactical related we get on some of these things also, they're going to download it. And if it's tactical but doesn't change their belief or shift how they view the problem, they're still probably not going to become booking a call or buying the next thing, because they're going to be like, well, I have stuff to do now, you know? So before turning it into a product, before launching a free community, I'd say like, how do we like hone in and refine the language you're already using in your existing copy, emails, and your ads to speak to a higher caliber person, right? Even if it's something that some of these, you know, home improvement people or countertop shops aspire to be. You know, like if you're talking to the guy who's expanding his business and you're using language to someone who's trying to actively grow, build their team, capitalize on expanding locations, I don't know what words they're using that are like, you're hitting those growth-minded people versus the guy that's just trying to survive. I think you'll see a difference in the caliber of people that you're attracting. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That's, yeah, 100%, yeah.
So I know that sort of veered away from your original question. I think the SaaS is great, but I'd also be looking at how can my SaaS speak to those same people, right? And before I go create a free group, what's the messaging that's going to get one of those people to sign up for my pilot of my SaaS program?
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks so much. That makes sense.
Cool. Does this help anybody else in the meantime? Hopefully. Yes, no, maybe so. All right.
So I'd love to know, what was your biggest takeaway from the call? Drop it in the comments below. And if you're an agency owner or service provider and you want to productize your services, monetize your expertise, and having our help each and every week, like you just heard on that call, you think you'd be able to move a lot faster, especially if you get all of our systems, templates, and tools and strategies along the way, then check out the link in the description to learn more about our collective program. We've helped over 800 founders just like you, and we would love the opportunity to work with you. So check out the details there, and I'll see you in the next one.